A handful of activists are attempting to get a developer fired from Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 and are, in effect, trying to cancel the game through a social media campaign. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Also, hit that like button. Let's beat the YouTube algorithm and get more people to watch this video. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com. And these activists have responded to a statement from Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive, the two companies that are publishing and developing Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. They issued a statement condemning a leak of the game and encouraging players to avoid it. So there was basically a full leak of the game based on a build from February that has surfaced online and people can indeed play. And this is what Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive said in a statement responding to the leak. It says, "We are deeply touched by the overwhelming support we've received from our community following the leak of an old build of our upcoming game, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Our teams have poured years of hard work, passion, and dedication into creating a game worthy of your hopes and expectations. And it's disheartening that many of the surprises we worked to keep secret were spoiled. We're saddened that this build, which will be almost a year old by the time we launch, is how some of our most eager fans will experience Space Marine 2. Our unwavering commitment, has been to deliver the best possible game for our players. This was the driving force behind our decision to spend more time on development and ensure we deliver the best experience we can. We're asking everyone to avoid this unfinished build and to not spoil the game for those excited to experience it for the first time at launch. Space Marine 2 will release on September 9, and the best way to support our team's hard work is to play the game as they've always intended. See you all in a few weeks for the Emperor." So in response to this statement here on X, there are a handful of people. Actually, it's probably closer. I mean, we're seeing here, like you can see 200 likes on this one, or almost 200 likes. So there's at least hundreds of people that are trying to cancel an individual, a developer who happens to be Russian. And they want to get him fired. And they're also trying to, I think, in effect, cancel the game and get people to not play it. And so you have this person here, ex-user Gameway UA. He says, "You have got what you deserve for working with Russians from terrorist state." So basically saying that Focus Entertainment and Saber Interactive deserve to have their game stolen because they happen to employ a Russian developer to work on the game. It's absolutely sick, absolutely disgusting. You shouldn't be trying to cancel a game because they happen to employ someone who is working from Russia and happens just to be a Russian. But that's exactly what they are doing, basically approving of theft, which we should not be approving of. Theft is wrong. We also have Vinny Danger 1 here, posted this. "Okay, but what about the controversy behind one of the developers? And you guys canceling beta, that's not a good sign. Is the unfinished build the actual game was going to be like at launch?" So again here, obviously talking about this developer. One has to assume that talking about the Russian developer here. I actually think these other complaints are valid. We'll get into this a little bit later. The canceling the beta, etc. I do think that is a huge red flag. And then we have this user here, Hofter. He posted this. "Explain what the hell is this man doing in your team? Are you supporting his hate speech or what?" And his hate speech seems to be that he supports the Russian foreign policy and the foreign policy of his country. And he's basically saying that, like, it's hard to tell, but it looks like he's saying that Ukraine is part of Russia. And obviously, this all has to do with what is happening between the war in Ukraine and Russia. It's all absolutely disaster. They need to come to a ceasefire. They need to stop doing this. The killing is absolutely horrible, and we need to put an end to it. We need to put a stop to it. But I don't think we should be trying to cancel individuals because they happened to be Russian and support their country. So I don't think this guy is actively advocating for anything heinous or evil. He's not saying you should go out and kill Ukrainians or anything like that. It looks like he's just supporting his country's foreign policy and stance that certain areas of Ukraine belong to Russia. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to pass judgment on any of that either. I think we just, as an American, I don't think it has anything to do with me. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't feel like I have any enough information on it. I just think that trying to cancel this game, cancel this person because he happens to be from Russia is absolutely wrong. And I don't really think what he's saying there is hate speech, whatever that happens to mean. So obviously, you can see here, this guy also has 60 likes on that one. So there's clearly a handful of people trying to get this game canceled and get this guy fired. I find it despicable. But this isn't the first kind of controversy. Like I said, this one guy said that they did cancel the public beta test for they canceled it in June, or they announced that it was being canceled in June, claiming they were focusing on optimization and polishing ahead of the September release, which is interesting because they, if we scroll down here, they actually announced that the game went gold in July. On July 9, they said the game was gold, which means that it's good to go. It's been shipped. It's kind of a finished product, but they canceled the beta test in June. And this is what they announced as part of a blog post on the game's Steam forums. It says here, Space Marine 2 is almost ready. We are now entirely focused on optimization, polish, and fixing remaining issues ahead of launch on September 9. This means we will not run a public online beta, as it would take the development teams away from preparing for the full launch, and our priority is to ensure the best possible experience at release. They went on and said this: we know this is disappointing news for some of you. As a thank you to those interested in participating, players who registered via the online sign-up before June 28, 2024, midnight Paris time, will receive the limited bolt pistol skin below, which you can see there. There's the skin. But this is kind of surprising because they did announce back in August 2023 that there was going to be a public beta when they revealed some gameplay for the game. And now this year they canceled it. So that does lead me to question, why are we canceling this public beta? Are they trying to hide something? Like what is going on? Why would you not release it to the public? I don't know if I fully buy into their explanation here, especially given the fact that like earlier this month they literally said the game went gold, which means that it is ready to go. It has been it's basically ready to be distributed to the public. So there's also the controversy around the game's microtransactions. So both Focus and Saber posted this in a blog post in May. We want Space Marine 2 to be an experience tailor-crafted for the players. Hence, we're happy to confirm that there aren't any microtransactions in Space Marine 2, no in-game cash shop. All gameplay content and features will be free to all players. Any paid DLCs will be cosmetic only. However, Focus Entertainment's brand manager, Sylvain Leroux, did confirm to PC Games N that the game will have a season pass, but it will be purely cosmetic and will be delivered in several phases. So a season pass is a microtransaction. So a little bit of a mixed messaging there. I know a lot of people don't think that's the case, but it clearly is a microtransaction. You buy the game and then you have a season pass within the game that you also purchase. That is a microtransaction within the game. You're not getting that season pass as part of your purchase of the game. So that is a microtransaction. LaRue also added this: everything you'll get in the passes is purely cosmetic. All of the gameplay additions, whether it's new missions or new enemies, all of that will come for free to all players. Again, that's still a microtransaction, whether it's cosmetic or not. It's still a microtransaction. Like, you can still have cosmetic changes and they're still cosmetic, or excuse me, they're still microtransactions. Just because you might have some microtransactions that affect gameplay doesn't mean that ones that don't aren't microtransactions anymore. They're still they're both still microtransactions because they are not part of the actual game that you purchase. They are separate purchases. And then obviously the game was delayed. It was supposed to come out last winter 2023, but in November 2023, when the game was supposed to release, they announced it was delayed to September. Well, now they announced it was going to be delayed to the second half of 2024. We know it's now September 9, 2024. But this is what they said in a press release at the time. The game is now poised to ship in the second half of 2024 to provide the time needed to properly polish the game and to ensure the best possible experience. Focus Entertainment is committed to releasing a game that is of the highest quality and that exceeds the expectations of the countless fans of the franchise. And there is a lot of hype around this game. I mean, it's number 7 on SteamDB's most wishlisted upcoming Steam games and has over 105,000 followers. So you can see it's up there, number 7 on the most wishlisted. So lots of followers. People are interested in this game, but we'll see what happens with it. I'm skeptical. I'd probably wait to see what the reviews are like. Some of the gameplay that they showed, I wasn't really sold on either. Looked like there was a lot of bugs where there was basically like an invisible wall surrounding the Space Marine. And when the Tyranids attacked, or not, I think, yeah, the Tyranids attacked, they were literally just like bouncing off the invisible wall. Some people were pointing out, well, oh, that's because he's performing an execution. But if you watch the gameplay, there's a number of places where the character, the Space Marine character, is not actually performing an execution. And the Tyranid is just jumping up in the air, literally hits the wall and then drops. And it doesn't look like the Space Marine player character takes any kind of damage or whatsoever. They didn't even show like any of the UI or the health bar or anything like that in the gameplay footage that they've released either. So that was kind of concerning. Obviously, that was a while ago, though. So hopefully that was some of the polishing that they've done to fix that, because I felt like that was kind of game breaking for me. These creatures are jumping at you and attack you and not actually hitting you. Kind of takes away from the immersion of the game when they should be taking you. You got to position yourself properly. You got to avoid things. You got to mow them down. You got to be ready for that. You got to be able to handle all these things coming at you as a Space Marine. Want to feel like an actual soldier on the ground dealing with like a hive mind of alien creatures trying to destroy you. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know what you guys make of these activists here trying to get this guy fired simply because he's a Russian, supports his country, and trying to get the game basically canceled, responding to this post here. And even like affirming that theft is great because you did something I didn't like. So it's good that something bad happened to you. This is just despicable behavior. We need to oppose this kind of stuff. It's just absolutely wrong. I mean, just to kind of highlight this, like, just imagine if they were saying this about someone from America. Like, you get what you deserve for working with Americans from the terrorist state or whatever, right? Like, it's just wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. And we got to say no to this stuff and we got to reject it. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.